On this week's episode of the Best of Johnston County podcast, our guest is Houston Colson, the founder and owner of Rooftops Roofing in Clayton. We talked to Houston a little bit about his background growing up in Clayton and going to Corinth High School, how he got started in the roofing business several years ago when somebody offered him a job and he just really started to enjoy it. We talked to him a little bit about why he started Rooftops after seeing what he thought were some inconsistencies in the service and the product being provided by some of the roofing companies that he was working with, what he's trying to do with Rooftops to differentiate himself in a crowded market, and common mistakes homeowners make in choosing a roofer and deciding whether they can get a new roof and whether the insurance will actually help pay for that roof. So if you have any questions about what insurance companies are looking for, or how to get your insurance company to pay for a new roof, this podcast answers a lot of those questions. So listen in.
Welcome to another episode of Best of Johnston County, brought to you by Breeden Law Office. Our host, Jonathan Breeden, an experienced family lawyer with a deep connection to the community, is ready to take you on a journey through the area that he has called home for over 20 years. Whether it's a deep dive into the love locals have for the county or unraveling the complexities of family law, Best of Johnston County presents an authentic slice of this unique community.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Best of Johnston County podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan Breeden. And on today's episode, we have Houston Colson, the owner and founder of Rooftops Roofing out of Clayton, North Carolina. We're going to talk to him a little bit about how he got into roofing, when he came to Johnston County, when he was, I think, in middle school, and some common mistakes that people make in choosing a roofer and how you can avoid making those same mistakes. But before we will get to that, I'd like you to ask you to like, follow, subscribe to this podcast wherever you see it, whether it be on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, or Instagram, or any of the other social media channels of the Best of Johnston County podcast. The Best of Johnston County podcast comes out every single Monday and has now for over 20 months. So please go back and listen to some of our previous episodes. We've had a lot of great guests. We've had most of the county commissioners, now Congressman Brad Knott, a lot of small business owners. If you love Johnston County as much as I do, this is the podcast for you. And if you'd also do us a favor and leave us a 5-star review down below where you're seeing this, it'll help us reach more people in Johnston County and surrounding areas. Welcome, Houston.
Good morning. Welcome.
Well, good. I appreciate you coming back. I know we had technical difficulties. We recorded this a few weeks ago. Yeah. So tell the audience what your name is, what you do.
So my name's Houston Colson, owner and founder of Rooftops, where we've been in business roughly 3.5 years. Before getting off of the ground, I was in and out of the industry for about 6-7 years. Introduced to the industry by installing metal roofs. Pretty much I've had experience in every aspect of the industry, managing jobs, one-on-one with homeowners, the whole 9 yards, operating and running sales teams. And then eventually we felt like we could contribute in a bigger way and started Rooftops.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. And I think you moved to Johnston County when you were maybe in middle school?
Yeah, I was 12.
You were 12. Okay. Where'd you move here from?
Greensburg, Indiana.
Greensburg, Indiana. All right. And then I think you went to Corinth High School, right?
I did, yeah.
Right. Did you enjoy that? It was a new school when you went.
It was a great school. I mean, I didn't have the best of headspace, so I took advantage of a great opportunity because Corinth is a great school. And then before Corinth, I went to Archer Lodge Middle School, which is not too far away from like the Percy Flower area.
Yeah. So that's awesome. It's awesome. So how did you end up in roofing? Like somebody offered you a job? Is that what happened?
I had a couple friends. Funny story. The two first people I met when I moved here were brothers, and they got introduced to the industry. My first job actually was McKinley's on Highway 70.
Oh, yeah, the restaurant.
Yeah, the restaurant. My first official job. And then I was looking for more consistent pay instead of bar backing. And then I was introduced as a laborer. So we were traveling to the mountains, pretty much installing primarily standing seam, like retrofit roofs for schools, warehouses, military bases, and stuff like that.
It's hard work.
It's very hard, yeah.
Especially when it's hot like it is right now as we're recording this at the end of July of 2025. Yeah, I think about you and your teams and the other teams when I see out there, when you see these 100+ heat indexes day after day after day.
Yeah, we got a heat advisory today.
Right. So how do you and your teams stay safe when it's this kind of heat? You can't not work. You got bills to pay.
Yeah, we kind of prepare with systems, whether that's, so we have a job that generally takes us a day. We might prepare to do a fraction of that in one day and then finish the following day so we don't overwork ourselves. Also, being humble enough and patient enough with the crew, with myself and our homeowners to take breaks. So 30-minute rotations. If we have 4 or 5 nailers, I'll have them come on the ground, get some shade, take a break, hydrate, eat, and then have a couple guys up there and rotate.
Oh, that's a pretty smart idea.
Yeah. Or else you're just you'll black out.
Yeah, if you fall off the roof, that wouldn't be good.
No.
That's cool. Well, good. I'm glad you do take safety precautions. I always wonder how y'all do that. So what made you decide that you wanted to start Roof Stepper, and what were you trying to do differently than what you were seeing in the industry?
I think the biggest motivating factor of starting Roof Stepper, the biggest motivating factor was the lack of a long-term vision of how a company should be in the industry. There's systems that are often neglected. So I have previous experience with 3 different roofing companies, and I notice everybody operates very differently, even within the same organization. There's systems and processes that are being deviated from, which ultimately determine the quality of service and experience that the homeowners are getting. So if one guy's doing one thing, say I work for a company, I'm supervising my jobs day in, day out, but then you have 4 or 5 other guys that are a project manager, but they're not overseeing the project. You can see there's things that may happen, not happen. So really finding a system that's going to best benefit the homeowners and the company, and then stick to it.
Okay.
I think that was the biggest thing.
Right. So what ways have you, you've got tons and tons of 5-star reviews, and that's hard to get in roofing, just like it's hard to get in family law. So I got a lot of respect for that. What has differentiated you that's allowed you to get all these 5-star reviews in such a short period of time?
I would say, to simplify it, the consistent service. And meaning, if I work for you, when I come out, what you will get if you refer to me to somebody else, they're going to get the same package. So it's really transparency, it's honesty, high quality services. It's no cookie cutter process. We're very thorough. We show up on time. If we're going to be there at 7, we're there at 6:30. It's really laying out all the cards on the table before, making sure they're comfortable. We never push anybody. We want to make sure there's full transparency and understanding of what to anticipate during the process, so that we're on the same page moving forward. They can have a peace of mind. We're going to fulfill our end. Then really jobs being supervised. That's a big thing. A lot of people work. A lot of people can't take a day, 2 days, 3 days off. So the entire process is being documented. It's being emailed. It's being texted. So you look up, it's a new roof. It looks great, but was it installed per manufacturer specifications? Did we run out on underlayment and go to the van and grab a different brand? Like, is it a uniform system? So really just being transparent, fulfilling our end, and actually doing what we proposed on contract.
Well, that's important. Yeah. Let's get transition to some of the mistakes people make.
Yeah.
Contract.
Yeah.
How important is it you have a written contract with whoever's doing the roofing at your house?
It's especially important, but what's even more important that ties into that is getting references. A lot of reputable and good companies will actually be willing and suggest, hey, can I provide you 3 to 5 references to give you a peace of mind and some comfort moving forward? Because despite the contract, again, it goes back to the job being supervised, homeowners not being available. It could be on contract, but you might not know what ice and water shield is.
Right. So I don't know what it is.
Right. So it's checked off. Did it actually get installed? You're being charged for it. Did it actually get installed? So contracts are especially important, but that's where it comes back to being transparent and being thorough. Again, reputable, honest, motivated companies will offer references. Hey, go to our BBB, go to our Google and look at, we're transparent, we're honest, we actually do install what we're proposing on the contract. So the contract is important, but it's also the additional due diligence.
I can
that
understand.
plays a big
Right.
factor.
I mean, I can understand that. I can understand that. And at this point, I mean, you yourself are looking at all these jobs now.
Yeah.
I mean,
primarily,
you're growing, but you're visiting the job sites.
Yeah, I just commuted from one. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys smelt me. I apologize, but like I'm drenched. I was up there tearing off with the guys.
Well, I
So.
mean, it's so hot out there right now. I mean, it's in the morning, it's still hot.
Yeah.
So, you know, should homeowners educate themselves over the products that are being proposed for their roof?
I think they should.
Okay. And how should they go about doing that?
Really finding, that's a good question, actually.
Right.
How to educate themselves on some of the roofing material. I mean, there's really highly respected and reputable teams and like YouTube channels. So you have Roofing Insights.
Okay.
Dmitry Lipinski is very, very respected within the roofing industry. And that's actually where I would suggest any homeowner to go to. If you want to educate yourself, he covers the basis of the best materials, what the pricing should look like, what the company should be providing, what they shouldn't be doing,
Right.
or maybe talking to some neighbors, friends, families that have also pursued the same process.
Okay. I got you. And it's important, I think, for you talked about the references, but also to look at the credentials of the roofer, correct?
Yeah. So making sure before you sign any contingency or contract, make sure the company you're committing to is licensed, insured, certified, preferably with the manufacturing company that shows that they've been in the game for a little bit. Not every company can just be certified at the highest ranks with one of the top tier manufacturing companies. So that's always a good sign. But also just looking at the consistent reviews across the board. So Google might say one thing, but what's Facebook saying? What's BBB saying? What's the neighbors saying? So that would.
Right. Well, also, I would say that it would probably be, you do a lot of work with insurance.
Yeah.
Right. So what should a homeowner, if they think they need a roof or they're having a problem, how should they go about dealing with their insurance company? And should they call the insurance company first or should they call a roofer first?
So what I would suggest with that, and it ultimately depends on the circumstances, if it's purely from age, do not just contact your insurance company. If you have a small leak, do not pursue an insurance claim and call your insurance company. Look up 3 roofing companies. My rule of thumb is 3 companies because you can always sniff the oddball out. And just request for a complimentary inspection. Start there. Anybody that's been within the industry that knows what they're looking at will be able to determine if it warrants an insurance claim. So ultimately, what's factored in is the consistency of storm-related damages. So you have wind damage, missing shingles, crease tabs. You're not always going to see from the ground. That's where that complimentary inspection comes into place. Also identifying hail damage, whether you see that from elevations of the home with collateral damage, downspouts, gutters, and then generally, depending on your insurance company, assuming there's consistent damage up there, you've been insured with that carrier within the data loss of that. So if we had a storm a year ago, you've been with Farm Bureau for 5 years, state of North Carolina, you have 3 years to file an insurance claim. So you still would be eligible for that. Not everybody knows when the roof has been impacted from a significant amount of wind and hail, because you look up, you don't know, you can't always identify it from the ground. So if you start experiencing a leak a year later and then you get that free inspection, somebody gets up there, hey, this leak probably started because a year ago we got a 70-mile gust and you have missing shingles everywhere. At that point, you would pursue an insurance claim if they think it warrants a full roof replacement.
I got you.
Yeah.
So I guess the best thing is call a roofing company first, get a free inspection, and then they can advise you as to whether you should call your insurance company or not, because they're trained in what insurance may or may not train.
Correct.
May or may not pay for.
And the representation is a big factor, because insurance companies, I'm kind of biased because I'm in the roofing industry, and insurance companies don't work for us. We're kind of working for them, coming out for the homeowners, but it's insurance companies are not in the game to spend money.
Okay.
Right. They save money to make money. That's kind of the name of the game. So I would not file an insurance claim without proper representation of somebody that knows how to identify the damage and actually go up the bat for you when the adjuster comes out to the property.
Okay. I got you.
Have family law questions? Need guidance to navigate legal challenges? The compassionate team at Breeden Law Office is here to help. Visit us at www.breedenfirm.com for practical advice, resources, or to book a consultation. Remember, when life gets messy, you don't have to face it alone.
What kind of warranties should people be looking for? Are there standard warranties in the industry?
Standard warranties as far as workmanship warranties back through the company itself. A lot of companies will do a 1 year, a 2 year, maybe even a 5 year.
Okay.
Standard manufacturer warranties as far as like asphalt shingles. What's most generalized in the industry is like 30-year lifetime architectural shingles. So you have manufacturer warranties that warrant 25 years on the dark streaks. You ever notice you go by a house and it's all dark? It just looks like crap. There's streaks. It's generally from a lack of sunlight, lack of ventilation. Manufacturer companies, a lot of them will warrant it up to 25, 30 years. Some may do 10 years, some may do 15 years. But ultimately, you want to see if the company is certified at the highest ranks with manufacturer company. And in a lot of cases, you'll be eligible. The company will be able to provide you like a 25-year workmanship warranty.
Okay.
So we're not perfect. We may go out of business. We don't plan on it.
Right,
but if we do and we installed everything per manufacturer specifications, you're still eligible for that 25-year leak warranty back through the manufacturer company.
Okay.
So there's perks to being certified at the highest ranks because we're able to offer that to you. Okay. And that also gives you additional peace of mind.
Okay. Awesome. How important is it to have somebody with local expertise? I mean, you're from Clayton. You've been in the roofing business for 9-10 years now, right in this area. How important is it to understand our roofs, our weather, all of that in deciding what's the best roof and getting that roof on correctly?
So I've been in this area 15 years now, but I think it's pretty important, aside just from knowing how to finagle the weather, just knowing the resources, having the connections with the right suppliers, having the right reputation in the area.
Right. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I would think it would be important in something like roofing to have people that are experts that are familiar with this area. Like, we have different types of weather. I mean, you know what I mean? I think that would be important to understand in choosing the product that would be best for roofs in this area.
I don't even think it's so much having a local company because they know the weather, which will determine choosing the right product. I think it's just better to choose local because you can. Because in the event there's a flaw within the system, you can rely on that local company. Because the amount of times, I mean, at least once or twice a month, I have homeowners in the area that have had roofs replaced, especially from the insurance company paying, and the companies went out of business that were originally not even from here. They were storm chasing.
Yeah.
So whether you being aware of the weather that determines the product to choose, I would just go local because you can. Go with the local reputable company because you can hold them accountable too.
Well, and we met through Launch Joco, and I guess I am your mentor in this product, in this process, which is cool. Why did you choose to get involved with Launch Joco, which is a business incubator program through Johnston Community College that is absolutely free to small businesses that are out there that would like to get involved and get some coaching? What was your thoughts in joining Launch Joco?
The approach was a no-brainer because I'm not perfect. I got a lot to learn. So it exposed me to a lot of flaws within my systems, a lot of opportunities, introducing me to great people, growing my network, gaining more trust from the locals in the community. So it's benefited us significantly.
It helped you with business planning.
It's been a great, it's been significant.
Well, that's awesome. And I've enjoyed working with you and the other people in Launch Joco. I think it's great. I've been involved with Launch Garner for a few years. I've enjoyed working with the small businesses there as well. So the last question we ask everybody on this podcast: what do you love most about Johnston County?
I would say that was so enthusiastic. I would say so. Being here for 14 years, the growth, the ongoing developments, the amount of support within the community. Really, we have school systems great, people are great, everybody's receptive, everybody wants to help each other. The food's great.
That's true. That's awesome. That's true.
So, and we could probably just keep going on.
No, you're right. You're right. So how can somebody reach out to you and Roof Stepper if they're interested in maybe getting a new roof?
So Roof Stepper on all our social medias, roofsteppers.com. Our number is 984-274-5170. Yeah, roofsteppers.com.
And you'd be happy to just call. You're happy to come out, give them a free, no obligation estimate, or tell them what they think may or may not be wrong. And it may be that they don't need a new roof,
Correct,
but they might be needing one in a few years, kind of like me.
Correct. Yeah, and they'll give you a peace of mind moving forward. So there's a reason why we get a vehicle inspection every year. Right. Whether you have to pursue and repair something, you get a peace of mind of what needs to be addressed. It's no different than a roof. I don't know why people overlook the most important aspect of your temple that protects you when you're sleeping. So having a peace of mind of just the overall condition is important.
Well, that's cool. All right. Well, we would like to thank Houston Colson and Roof Stepper for being our guest on this week's episode of the Best of Johnston County podcast. As we mentioned earlier, please like, follow, subscribe to this podcast wherever you're seeing it so you'll be aware of future episodes of the Best Johnston County podcast. Best Johnston County podcast comes out every single Monday and has now for over 20 months. Also, leave us a 5-star review down below. If you have any questions for Houston, leave us some questions. We'll make sure we get those to him and see if we can get you an answer. Until next time, I'm your host, Jonathan Breeden.
That's the end of today's episode of Best of Johnston County, a show brought to you by the trusted team at Breeden Law Office. We thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to sharing more interesting facets of this community next week. Every story, every viewpoint adds another thread to the rich tapestry of Johnston County. If the legal aspects highlighted raise some questions, help is just around the corner at www.breedenfirm.com.